Aaron Rouse heads the FBI in Nevada and is leading the Bureau's investigation into the October 1st mass shooting on the Strip. An FBI report on the attack, which left 58 dead and hundreds injured, is expected to be released around the anniversary of the shooting. Agent Rouse, welcome back to the program.
Thank you for having me.
So is the investigation into the October 1st shooting and the man behind it, is it still ongoing?
They're in the finishing stages. At this point, the evidence has been gone through, the laboratory results have been shared, and at this point we're looking at the motive. And so the last piece for the FBI in this puzzle is the behavioral analysis report that will be coming out, we believe, sometime between the anniversary date and the end of the year. As I've said to the people that are putting this together, I want it right. I don't need it fast. And so they have a team of about 25 people that are combing through all of the evidence. They're combing through the statements. They're combing through every piece of information that we know about the subject to try and piece together the why. I believe that at the end of this report, when they are finally able to publish this report, that we will have as close to an answer as to why without asking the subject as we can possibly have.
That's interesting. You know, Las Vegas Metro Sheriff Joe Lombardo had said within the last couple of months he doubted there would ever be discovery of a motive. But there are terabytes of information from the shooter's files. So I imagine all that is being combed through?
Everything has been looked at. Many times we'll go back and take another look. That team that I'm speaking of, the Behavioral Analysis Unit, they've brought in outside experts. These are forensic psychologists who are not employed by the Bureau to take a look, to make sure that the theories that they're working off of, that they're sound, that they're not missing areas that require exploration. I do know that they've set out additional questions to be answered and facts that they want to get to put that piece together as much as they possibly can. Will you have a definitive why? I can't say that for sure. What I can say is that absent talking to the person who committed this heinous act, I believe that we'll have a great deal of information, enough for people to understand to the extent possible why this happened and place this into a circumstance that they can then deal with.
And that person, again, is Stephen Paddock. He killed himself as police were closing in on him on October 1st. I'm talking to FBI Special Agent in Charge in Las Vegas, Aaron Rouse. Investigators here with the FBI are expected to release a report close to the one-year anniversary of that October 1st shooting. Special Agent Rouse, have you found any information that maybe you could share now, or maybe you can't, that might change our understanding of the event?
We have certain things that we can say absolutely. And based upon all of the evidence provided to date, all of the interviews that have been done, all of the evidence examination that's taken place to date, both the sheriff and I are very confident that there was one shooter, that shooter is deceased, and there is not a broader conspiracy revolving around this issue. Anybody can take one snippet of video or one snippet of audio or one line in a statement that's been made, and it can be easily misinterpreted, or they could put more weight to it than what necessarily it should have. But when you take the totality of the facts, you take the totality of the evidence that's collected, you take the totality of the exemplary investigative efforts that were put forth, I am confident to say the subject of this event was alone and is deceased by their own hand. Furthermore, if people wonder, is this just a local matter? Did we just do this within the confines of Nevada? I can say no. The FBI in total engaged in 25 different countries with our legal attaché offices because the subject was a frequent traveler overseas. We have a very good understanding of the subject's movements. We engaged 48 of the 56 field offices in covering leads regarding the subject and his family to get all of this information. That kind of comprehensive ability, we had almost 1,000 agents worldwide working on this case. And I remind your listeners, it didn't turn out to be a federal case. But the FBI will come to the aid of any state and local agency should they find themselves in a crisis situation like this.
When you started there, you were talking about the fact that you know for a fact that it's just this one man,
Yes.
which leads me to a question about conspiracy theories. Right after the shooting, I mean, the conspiracy theories were rampant. And we had talked to Matt McCarthy, who was a Metro Deputy Chief. He retired shortly after the shooting. And he had this to say about police officers who have faced critics and conspiracy theorists since the attack.
These are men and women who go out there every single day doing a job that very, very few people want to do. They're asked to make split-second decisions. They're asked to conduct investigations that they know are going to be scrutinized, whether it's by public or by a court. And when they get this type of feedback from a public, particularly people who should know better, it does bother them.
Special Agent Rouse, oddly, you as well have been accused by people online as being part of some kind of conspiracy. It's patently false, but it's out there nonetheless. So I wonder, is this the kind of thing, this social media platform used to spread unchecked accusations, is it demoralizing to you and to your fellow officers?
You know, it doesn't hit the mark at all because I pay no attention to it. I'm not on social media looking to see what people think of me. It really doesn't matter what they think of me. The people who have the keyboard courage to write the most ridiculous memes out there that about some sort of a conspiracy, I actually feel sorry for them. They don't have the information, the expertise, or any of the true facts to be able to be espousing anything. I'm confident that the people that worked on this case from every agency did their level best. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. But I can sit here and say that none of us can worry about that. We have to worry about doing our jobs very, very well. In the FBI, we focus on the mission, which is protect the American people and uphold the Constitution. That's the job. You're going to have naysayers no matter what you do. We didn't get into this to be popular. We got into this business to protect people and to help people. And so we're going to continue to focus on that.
The investigation is a sort of astounding the way you described it. All over the world, 1,000 agents in total looking at different pieces of this. I wonder if the information from this particular investigation is going to be used in the future from the standpoint of learning about mass shootings and shooters. I mean, is this shooting something that you foresee as being used as a learning tool in the years to come?
It absolutely is. I will say that both Metro and the FBI have been doing conferences where we are talking about the lessons learned from the 1 October experience. For a horrible tragedy that this was, there were a lot of positive takeaways from this. And the key part of that is that the partnerships that were on display amongst all of the state and local and other federal agencies working together, no turf wars, no infighting, it was working together for a common purpose. And we really brought our A game to understanding the nature of this event and to respond to it to help the community.
In the lawsuits that have been tied to the shooting, and I'm not asking you to comment on a lawsuit, but they've invoked something called the Safety Act, and it would limit corporate liability in the case of a terror attack. I don't know if the FBI does this, but does the FBI label this a terrorist attack?
We have a very specific definition for terrorism. This does not meet that. The 1 October event does not meet that classic definition of terrorism. This is why this remained a Metropolitan Police investigation, homicide investigation, mass shooting investigation. We supported that, and we continue to be in that support role. I think that's about all I can say.
Is your report still expected to be out around the anniversary of the shooting?
I've been in touch back with the people who are compiling it. They are compiling it. It is going to be a heavily scrutinized report, so they have to really be very careful in the wording and make sure that they're telling the story that they have been able to ascertain from all of the facts in a way that makes sense, that does not cause more questions or more spin off more conspiracy theories. We're interested in putting out a report as soon as possible. They told me approximately in January that they thought that the report might be ready by on or around the anniversary date, but I would expect it before the end of the year, certainly.
I'm talking with FBI Special Agent in Charge Aaron Rouse of the Las Vegas Bureau.